old were you, do you think, when you
No,
first really developed an
I don't know,
interest?
and that's a good question, and I don't quite know. I think I was in elementary school. I think this was the planetarium was not a one-time visit. We would go there often, and that's why it's hard for me to know when I got bitten by the bug. I didn't notice when I'd been bitten by this bug, by the astronomy bug. So it was a latent carrier of the astronomy bug for many years, and so it was a very different way of learning compared to what I'd been used to. There was very little emphasis on textbooks, and which is all I had known before. Textbooks and blackboard equations are all I knew before, and in terms of learning and teaching styles. So the teaching style was also a huge shock. I'm amazed I survived it. Thinking back, I'm just amazed that I survived it. And I think I survived it because I had taken the plunge. I said, I'm going to do this. It doesn't matter what. I'm going to adopt whatever comes. I'm going to make it work. So I always feel the people part of the journey has been the most fun. And as I was saying, I got to meet Eva Novotny, the author of that stellar structure book. It was so exciting it was so much more fun talking to her than reading her book. And just that, just that aspect of it, talking to, getting to know Martin Schwarzschild, who had some contact with Einstein, or the professor at my college whose book I used to learn tensor calculus. His advisor was a collaborator of Einstein. And just seeing that these people are no longer, just getting the sense that these people are not in the ivory tower as you imagine, that that people who knew them, or you knew people who knew them. So seeing that the number of degrees of separation is small, can be counted on the fingers of one hand. There's no importance of dark matter on these smaller scales. So galaxies, I see that as the first scale on which dark matter can be studied in a meaningful way. You can study dark matter on larger scales, on the scale of collections of galaxies, and people do that. You could study dark matter on the scale of the universe itself, and people do that. But below galaxy scales, on smaller than galaxy scales, you really have to get down to the particle level of dark matter, or the clumping level of dark matter. The Macho project, which is looking for lumps of dark matter, or the projects that are searching for WIMPs, the weakly interacting massive particles that could be dark matter. That's a very different kind. These are very different ways of searching for dark matter. The Andromeda Galaxy is important because because we're outside it. It's like it's a combination. The Andromeda Galaxy is important because we don't have a big enough selfie stick, to take a picture of our own galaxy from the outside. So
that would be an awesome thing to have.
So it's a way of us looking. It's a vicarious way of looking at our Milky Way from the outside. There's good news and there's bad news. The bad news, as you said, is we're heading for a collision. The Andromeda Galaxy is coming. The bad news is there's no place to run. There's really no place to hide. The good news is there's a lot of time. It's going to get here in 5 billion years. We have plenty of time to figure this out. Bad news is there's nothing to figure out. There's really nothing to do. Absolutely no place to go. The good news is nothing bad is going to happen. So the solar system and the connection, the gravitational connection of our planets to the sun is not going to be affected by this collision. There's a vanishingly small probability of that bond being broken. Being passionate about why you're doing this, it's very hard to understand why you're passionate about something, but try to articulate that even in one's own head, not to someone else, just to yourself. Understanding why you're passionate about a particular subject is really important, because that will get you through the struggles. That will get you through the path that requires your persistence. So I think passion and persistence, those two P's, are probably would be at the top of my list of what it takes to succeed in any technical field. And I think in any field, why technical? For young people who are looking for careers in STEM, they shouldn't limit themselves to any particular any particular narrow area too early in the game. STEM is very, the different aspects of STEM are very interconnected, and many of the subjects you study in high school are siloed in ways that are not realistic in the context of how STEM is used in the real world. It's important not to fall to avoid those pitfalls of thinking that I'm interested in biology, I'm not interested in chemistry or physics or math. These subjects are so connected in the real world.